trying to make sure that I see you and not that God sees you. It's been causing hindrance in our reproduction. We can't get no soul saved because we've got flesh in the way. We can't get nobody delivered because we've got flesh in the way. Oh, we're hard. We're getting but we're not reproducing nothing. I wish I had a church. Excuse me, Perry, for being vulgar. Oh, we're standing up the way we're supposed to, but we're not getting anything done because flesh is in the way. And I came to tell you as God's apostle this morning that God is going to start cutting your flesh because you refuse to do it, because he's been calling you to prayer and you don't want to pray, because he's been calling you to turn your plate down and you don't want to do it. He's going to start cutting your flesh because nothing is going to stop what God is trying to do through this ministry. Nothing is going to stop the hand of God from working on this ministry. Tell somebody you've got to cut it. It's causing a hindrance in our reproduction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Point number one. Point number two, I got to go because Gordon got to go preach. Point number two is this, and I'm going to my seat. Point number two is number one says it'll cause hindrance in reproduction. Point number two to what God said, that every male child needs to be circumcised. Even the little boys that are here, they're not circumcised, take them before they get too old, because the pain is worse when they get old. That's a whole nother message at a whole nother time. The pain is worse when you get old. When God got to break your flesh and you are old bitty, when you know everything about God, and when you know how to do something, and when you gifted and anointed, it's worse when you get old. I wish I had a church that would say, God, cut me now, cut me now. Before I get too far, cut me now. Before I get too old, before I become an old hen, cut me while I'm still a chicken. God, cut me now. Point number two, not only will it cause a hindrance in reproduction, Brother Donovan, but watch what that extra piece of skin will cause. It will cause infection because it's hard to keep that thing clean. I don't have nobody talking to me. Paul said it this way. He says, you therefore mortify the deeds of your body, of your flesh. You kill it. Don't wait for God to do it, but you kill it. I came to tell somebody in here, you've been trying to put your flesh to sleep, but you can't rock that baby to sleep. That giant will hibernate like a bear, but it'll wait till the right moment and the right temperature, and that thing will wake up and destroy your ministry. It'll destroy what God's trying to do in your life. It'll wait until you got a testimony to rear his ugly head. It'll turn from a monkey to a gorilla. Look at somebody, tell them you can't put it to sleep. You got to kill that thing. You want to have sex, you can't keep running. You got to mortify them deeds. You want to smoke, you can't keep walking past the store not expecting not to pick up a cigarette. You've got to kill that thing. Touch three people and tell them, kill it, kill it, kill it. Well, I'm here now. I come against alternative lifestyles. I come against because you can't find what you want, that you try to go and get something else. I come against a spirit of substitutes. I wish I had a praying church. God bless me with some intercessors. I come against a spirit of substitute, that you can't have the man you want, so you go and find other men to sleep with. You can't have the woman you want, and you're not happy with your spouse, so you go and find other folk to mess with. I come against that now. It's causing an infection in your life. You've got gangrene in your life, and God is cutting off parts because they become rotten and they're stinking before the eyesight of God. Somebody tell me you got to get rid of this causing infection. It'll cause infection in the church, Pastor Stewart. It'll cause infection in the church. It'll get you to the place where you correct one person. That one person will find somebody to talk with about you. That other person will find somebody else to talk with about you. And before you know it, they've turned 27 people against you in the ministry that God called you to preach at. In the ministry He placed your pastor over. And I came to tell somebody, don't you get offended and don't get upset when I start coming after the infections in the church. We can't afford to let the baby die. We can't afford to let the children die anymore. We can't afford to let them to have stuff in their body. I came to tell you that the word of God will become an IV in your life, and it will begin to filter through your system, and it'll work every infection out of your life. Look at somebody, tell them, I need the word, I need the word. I need an IV in my arms. I need something to flow through my veins so God can heal me. I wish I had somebody to say, I don't want to die from an infection.
I want to die from an infection. Bless him, Jesus.
Just cut it. Tell somebody cut it so we can move on.
Cut it so we can move on.
Over time, I'm finished. Tell somebody cut it so we can move on.